Okay, for today's edition of Snapchat Cooking, we're making tacos with basic ground beef. It's going to be yummy. Okay, so ingredients that we need are tortillas. We like round burrito style and the crunchy flat kind. Spices, 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay, our next step is to add our 80-20 lean ground beef to our already preheated pan. So you can see our heat is on medium heat, and we put the ground beef in there. We're going to break it up and add some spices next. So the reason I have 2 packages of seasonings is one I add to the ground beef while it's cooking, and it infuses the meat with flavor. So we're going to start breaking up the meat and incorporating the spices in there, because later on we're going to drain off any excess fat. So you can see we're kind of stirring and breaking up the meat so that the spices get in there and infuse the meat with flavor. So while the meat is cooking on medium heat, we're going to start the oven up so that we can warm up our shells. So I turned the heat down, temperature down to 300. So now the oven's going to pre-warm and then warm up to 300 so we can get our shells. So while our meat is cooking, we lined the pan with tin foil so that we can cook our hard shells and soft shells in the oven and then put them right on this pan to serve. Our oven's almost at 300 degrees, ready to warm up the tortillas, and our ground beef is coming along. It's almost all browned. Okay, the ground beef is done, and now we're going to drain it into this strainer, and it's going to catch the grease in the bowl. So we've added all the ground beef to the strainer. As you can see, the bowl is catching all the fat and grease, and those are the extra spices that fell off the meat. So we've added our meat from the strainer back into the pan, and we're going to keep it going on a medium to low heat. And so you can see a lot of the fat and grease and the spices came off the meat, so it won't be overly spicy when we add more spices later. So we've opened up a new package of spices. Here's what it looks like. And we're going to add it to the meat now with a little bit of water soon. So we're going to add a cup to about 1.5 cups of water so that the spices create a gravy or a sauce with the beef. It did end up being about 1.5 cups. So now let's stir the meat around to incorporate the spices in the water to make our gravy. So we've stirred the beef around completely, and so what I mean by gravy is just kind of a little bit of a sauce, a little bit of a gravy to make the meat moist and add a little texture. Now that our beef is still cooking, we're going to let that cook for a few minutes, still in the same kind of heat, and we're going to put in some tortillas into our oven. So we stirred our ground beef, it's looking good. Time to put the shells in the oven. So we set our table with a little bit of shredded cheese, sour cream, and the taco sauce. That's for me, and we're almost ready to eat. So our shells have been cooking for 2 to 3 minutes. Time to take them out of the oven. They're hot. We're going to add more shells to the bottom. And some of the tortillas, the soft ones, to the top. Meat is done, tortilla shells are warmed up. It's time to take it to the dinner table. Shells on the table. That was loud. Meat got one last stir. Now I'm putting it on the table. And we're going to be ready to eat in just a minute. We have leftover tortilla shells. We're going to reuse the tortilla bag and put them in there and box them back up and save them for another day.
Keep that moisture going.
That's right. Dinner is served. Logan's eating. Happy dinner.
Thanks.